Hi, baby. Hi, my fellow TIs. Well, I want to talk about the doctor's office, that visit. Well, I cried my other eyebrow off. I got one eyebrow. I was crying. Frustration, you know? I was at the grocery store, didn't know what the hell I was supposed to get. You know, I have no income, but finally being on food stamps and stuff. Again, I told you guys, um, you know, all I've had was the Family Dollar to go to, and once in a while, numero uno. So Miss Cheers took me to Food for Less, and it's so big, and I'm by myself, and I didn't know what to get, and as a new diabetic, I've told you I've had diabetes before, but I was 363 pounds. I lost weight, and I wasn't at risk for it. But I hadn't been to the doctors for years. Because my doctor kept going to China. But I had a loyalty towards him because I had him for like 23 years, 24 years. So I kept him. And he wasn't checking in with the office, so. And then I had an appointment, and they lost my record. Well, they couldn't find my records. Then they could find my records. But then my doctor had a stroke. So I said, F this loyalty. I got to move on. And I got help finding a doctor over here. Well, as you know, yesterday or the day before, something, I'm not good with time. But, I went to that doctor's office first time. She only takes 16 patients a month in person. And that was my first time meeting her. Well, guess what? She asked me if I'm a drinker, and I told her no. I said it's every blue moon. And, as you know, I posted, oh gosh, let me lay down. My spine hurts. I had no business carrying that much groceries up here. It took forever. I had to, sorry. I had to put them down somewhere and take a rest. And then come to the back door of this apartment and prop it open, take one bag at a time. Yeah, no, my spine hurts. Well, anyways, I don't give a fuck how I look. I got one eyebrow. But anyways, I was at the doctor's office, and, I had told her that, it's hard for me to understand stuff. She wouldn't let me take Miss Cheers in with me, and Miss Cheers took me to the doctor. She's the one that's been so wonderful about, untangling my life and trying to get me back on my feet, with doctor's appointments, and she's been a real champ. But that doctor wouldn't let her in the room with me, which was, I was feeling crappy anyways, because I drank a probiotic yogurt. I mean, a big ass one. Apparently, it's got a lot of sugar in it. So I felt horrible in that doctor's office. And me not being able to, if somebody's not going slow, telling me stuff, I can't marinate it in my head, to keep it there. That's a lot of the reasons why I wanted Miss Cheers in there, because she's my neighbor and my friend, and she's been awesome. But, yeah. So, I think the doctor got frustrated. I think I probably was asking her the same questions. But, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. She asked me if I'm a drinker. And I said, every blue moon. She goes, well, there's alcohol in your blood. And I went on the YouTube and checked what date, I drank. And it was on the 15th of last month. And she said, well, it should be in your blood because you took blood tests on the 25th. That was the last time I drank. I rarely freaking drink. And then the time before I drank was when I went to that Manic Hispanic concert, which I posted, I uploaded little videos and stuff. So I don't understand. How can alcohol be in my blood if I know the exact date and she said it should have been out of my blood? So that's really weird. She asked me when's the last time I used. I told her February of 1988, but I don't know if you could still see it. When I took blood at the doctor's office, they had a real hard time getting my blood. In fact, I uploaded, when I was singing that song for my son on his birthday. You could see I had 2 green bandages, one right here and one right here. In fact, I still have a bruise from that, and I showed her my arms and I said, look, you can see the old scars. See, they're really old, and you can see where they, I don't know. You can see where they tried to get blood right there, right there. Right there, there's a bruise. Hey, a doctor should be able to tell, right? But, I don't know. She treated me like, I felt like she treated me like I was an alcoholic or a drug addict or something. And that made me feel shittier than I felt from drinking that big probiotic yogurt with sugar in it. And, I don't know. It just, I'm gonna give her a chance and stuff, but, I don't know what I'm doing. And I can't keep all that stuff in my head that she's telling me and stuff, And, I asked her about directions for the medications and stuff, and she said they're all on there. And, like I said, I squirted a whole thing of the sample that I'm supposed to take once a week on me when the pharmacist was directing me how to use that pen thing. Here, hold on, I'll show you again. My spine hurts. You guys know my spine is crushed in. This thing. In fact, when the doctor gave it to me and she told me that it's not a syringe, I started crying because I was happy. But I don't know what I'm doing. And I squirted it all over me. It came out this end. Because, I'm trying to take direction, but I'm stressed out. And like I said, things don't marinate. Certain things that I used to do before the accident, I get stuck. You can see the scars. Well, it's a big scar. I took care of my face really good, though. Otherwise, I would have had a lot of scarring. Like I said, it was on top of my whole body. But, man. Yeah, so I still haven't taken this. And, I don't know what I'm doing this time. Well, I didn't know what I was doing last time, but I learned. And I lost weight quickly. within a year, and then I was no longer at risk for diabetes. You know, I guess I've had diabetes the last couple of years, or last few years, whatever. And they said that's why all my teeth fell out. And my beautiful girl. But, they want more extensive blood tests. I also came up with arthritis, you know, and she gave me nothing for the pain because I'm sitting here and getting treated like an alcoholic or a drug addict or whatever. And I'm not. But, see, I'm wearing the shirt from that my honey poop got me from the concert. Manic Hispanic. But, yeah. It's a whole different experience with this doctor because, I don't know, my other doctor, I had him for so long. He was patient with me. He's been through a lot with me. You know, in fact, let me tell you a little story. I used to live on Long Beach, Northside Long Beach, on 61st and Atlantic, on 61st Street. And there was a motel across the street that, they were bungalow motels. And, you know, different gangs, mostly Crips, of course, because Long Beach is all Crips. Different Crip gangs would go over there from different areas and sell crack and stuff like that. You know, we had the prostitutes, gangbangers, slangers, or gangbangers / slangers, whatever, you know. Then the crackheads, you know, crackhead prostitutes, crackheads, you know, I don't judge anybody. In fact, I talk to everybody. I talk to everybody outside my home, you know. It was a 2-bedroom. And I lived next to the side of the bar. And I ended up working in that bar. And he said, and I was the only person that wasn't black that ever worked at that bar. And the city had wanted to close it down for a long time. That and the motel. Well, anyways, you know, I worked at the bar, and Mr. John Moore said that I was the best bartender ever. After I left, after I no longer worked there, you know, because I never stole from him. I didn't go home with customers, and I didn't smoke crack, you know, and I had a good rapport with them. But, well, anyways, besides all that, okay, I used to, well, I can say this now because rest in peace, John Moore, and the bar no longer exists. It's a church now, you know, and the motel doesn't exist, you know, yeah, it doesn't exist no more. It got bought out and whatever. Well, anyways, I lived there over 10 years. Well, anyways, I used to butter up my gate. And put oil all over it, you know, in the side yard of my yard, everywhere, you know, on the top where those, you know, it was a gate. And I used to butter it up because, you know, the crackheads or prostitutes, crackheads or whatever, they used to jump my gate after the bar was closed to get to John's house, you know, because he used to sell crack. But, you know, they jumped my gate and, you know, you hear the chains rattle and stuff and whatever, wake me up. You know, one time one of the crackhead prostitutes, and I don't judge, I love everybody, you know, as long as you got a good core, and the people around there had a good core no matter what they did, you know. But one time, Arlene came to my door. You ruined my new suede skirt. Because of the butter and stuff. Well, anyways, the fights from that bar would escalate because I told you the side of the bar was next door to me, and the bar fights, they'd often end up in front of my house. And I had been getting ready for work. And there was a fight. So I jumped on, those city recycling bins. They look like trash cans. I jumped on that and I grabbed hold of my roof, so I could see the fight. Instead of being in the crowd and shit, jumping up on the, recycling bin, so I could see into the fight. And my ass got tore up by the gate because somehow, I slipped on somehow the butter or the oil made me slip. Holding on to the roof and shit right up against the gate. And, the things that go like this on top of the gate? Well, anyways, it ripped me open. And so I went a block away to Dr. Chow's. And he made me sign this thing saying I refuse to go to the hospital. And he sewed me up right then and there. What's the matter, my baby? And I ended up being on time for work at the bar next door. So, yeah, me and my doctor have been through a lot. And I was comfortable with him. And I had loyalty towards him. But, hey, after the stroke, it was time to move on after he had a stroke. But, and get somebody that's closer, because he's rarely in the office and stuff. And now, yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and try with this doctor. But she should be letting me take Miss Cheers in so I could feel more comfortable. And since I can't marinate things and make them stick in my head, so she's there. You get me? No, anyways, I hope you enjoyed that story time. It's not based on a true story. It is a true story. Every little story I tell you about me or what I've been through, it's true. It's not based on a true story, And sometimes I change the names. But I didn't have to change the names this time because, the places no longer exist. But if you ever want to check if that church right there used to be a bar, or if across the street from my house used to be a motel, hey, I lived at 564 East 61st Street. Yeah. Back when the Rolling 20, Crips, and the Insane Crip Gang used to get along. And yeah, they're from the east side, but they were right there, all over where I lived. A lot of them. And like I said, if you have a good core, you're right. It doesn't matter what you do. I love. And the people there, gangbangers, whatever, they had a good core. I mean, they'd tell me, hey, you know what? When you come back from work, they tell me, you know what? Go back and forth to work. When you come back from work, make sure you get your kids and put them in the house. And, I wouldn't question it because later that night or the next day, I'd hear gunshots. So, they protected me. They didn't just let me run around and be a civilian in the midst of this stuff. Because mind you, I'm raising kids. So I put my dickies down to start raising my son and my daughter, after I got out. But I hope you followed this. I don't know why I talked about that, but Yeah, it was about loyalty, my doctor. So, peace, love, and laughter. I'm in pain. I still got to put these groceries away. Can't leave them out there too much because it's milk and stuff, but my spine hurts from carrying that. Everything, your spine affects everything. Everything affects your spine.